Hey, Nomad. I got something you might find interesting.
Probably get through that phone in there. Sure.
You ever think we'd end up here?
Somebody's trail.
Explain something to me, this Titan program. Why in the hell would you think it was a good idea to build giant killing machines? Aren't lethal drones enough?
I recognize that smaller drones are already deadly and far more cost-efficient, but I was influenced.
Walker.
He was always complaining that the existing drones didn't have enough media presence. These days, wars are fought on television screens. He wanted Titans that could exude charisma and raise hope and simultaneously suffocate the spirit of a nation.
Sounds charming.
I find that once I'm given a task, my inspiration is fueled by the vacuum. I knew that what Walker wanted was entirely unnecessary for counterterrorism, but I got carried away. Now I shudder to imagine what he intended the whole time.
You're not the only one. Genius. I need you to tell me everything you can about all the lethal drones out there.
Of course. Anything I can do to help undo what I've done. It all started with two basic military training drones. The Incubus for ground and its airborne sister, the Succubus. They were then multi-purpose, giving birth to new models. Eamon and his flying sibling Murmur were taught to patrol areas in the wild. Ime and Malphus were designated for location defense. The meanest models were Andrus and Stolas, search and destroy drones that the wolves just love.
I'm sure they're all perfectly tailored for whatever Walker's got in mind. Go on.
Behemoths are massive tank-like machines with incredible firepower. You'll mostly find them guarding infrastructure and strategic assets. Azraels, on the other hand, are long-range, high-altitude spy drones. They're capable of recon over a wide array of land and utilize heat sensors and pattern recognition to identify threats and intrusions. They aren't very well suited for battle, though. They mostly just point out targets so that strike forces can do the dirty work.
Thanks, genius. Wish me luck. So, what does a billionaire arms dealer do? You know, whenever he's not manufacturing killing machines.
Skell Tech is responsible for an extensive catalog of inventions over the past decades.
I'm listening.
Our first economically viable autonomous machine was the Skell Farmer, a harvester capable of recognizing the range and ripeness of crops. Since then, it's found unintended utility in mining and forestry.
So explain to me how you got here. From farming drones to war machines.
Our next invention, the Skell Transporter, was the first affordable smart delivery device, a new standard in the industry. The Skell Doctor may interest you, an advanced cousin specialized to carry sensitive medical supplies. You could easily shoot one out of the sky to steal its payload.
Could be useful.
Our Cherubim City and Sky models behave like mobile CCTVs capable of facial and behavioral identification and alert authorities in real time. I suggest you steer clear of them if you want to move undetected.
I'll keep that in mind.
My point is that I have dedicated my life to improving the human condition and relieving the population from the crushing weight of repetitive work.
Well, let's see if we can make sure your legacy's intact at the end of this. I take it you spoke with Ayanna Puri.
Yeah, she's still pretty shaken up, I think.
Oh, I think she's cool as a cucumber.
No, she's not like you. She thinks showing her emotions makes her look weak. It's a business thing.
Switching sides is a business thing, too.
I don't like everything she did, but she did do her best to protect the staff. Nomad, I ran away, but she stayed. She looked out for the rest of Skelltech.
She seems more cloak and dagger than business suit. But I'll admit, Moreau's a better place with her than without her. Listen, I get that Maddox isn't exactly warm and friendly, but why do people hate her?
They don't hate her as much as they fear humanity's evolutionary destiny.
Whoa, that's a little intense. Even for you.
Grace Maddox is in charge of Skelltech's transhumanist research, Project Deus. Yeah, on a personal level, she's not, fun.
Yeah, she's also really into herself.
Sure, but she's really effective. I gave her a huge budget. She wants more.
You give it to her?
Ayanna Puri, my CFO, wouldn't let me. So Maddox cut costs. Instead of spending the time to perfect a true quantum computer, she developed a DNA-based computer that behaves like a quantum computer.
And you know what she's doing with that?
She plans to download her mind onto that computer. I know it sounds a little crazy and unbelievable, but someone will do it. And she should be first.
When did you get away from using dollars?
You like the Screds?
I don't understand them.
They're a cryptocurrency. As much as we could, we wanted to get away from the control of international banking.
But it's a made-up money.
All money is made up. It only has value because we all agree on it as a medium of exchange. Everyone in Aurora agrees to use Screds. And Skelltech makes sure to create a limited supply.
So if we all agree to use your play money instead of dollars, the economy still works the same way?
Money's only worth what you think it's worth.
My mind blown. I need more about Paula Madeira. How long have you known her?
Years. I hired her right out of grad school. Actually, she was still in grad school. She was only 20, but she was just so smart. I knew that with her, I could lay the foundation of Skelltech's advanced drone program.
But are you friends? Was there something else going on, or what? There's something here I'm missing.
I think hiring her so young, she never really learned the art of adapting. She didn't like working with Walker. I could have handled her differently. I know I need to talk to her about that.
You didn't answer my question.
It hurt. She was so special and one of the first to truly believe. And in hindsight, she was also right. She saw right through Walker. She was immune to his charm. And I was deaf to her warnings.
You healed up from the bombing attack? I mean, in your head?
Yeah, well, I had to deal with the aftermath. First team to inspect the site. I still remember all those broken windows, shattered shards of glass. I kept thinking, we can fix those, we can fix those. I got the windows fixed, but I stopped scheduling non-vital meetings in the Skell Foundation head office. It's different than when you see something on TV. It's just reporters and sirens. It's the smell. So acrid it singes your nostrils, like the energy around you has been sucked away, you know?
Yeah, I do.
And the bombers were never caught. We never knew if another one was coming. We suspected the outcast, but now that Sentinel's taken over, I wonder.
You're the one who asked Sentinel to step in.
Yeah, that's on me.
I met a lot of Skell-Tech employees who are mad at you.
The outcast. Sentinel hasn't taken care of him yet?
They're naive, but they can learn. They can do some good for the island.
They're small-minded, fearful. If they think the world is going to destroy them, it will.
Well, we need them, so maybe we can change their minds.
Some people don't change, Nomad.
But some of them do. How did you buy Aroa in the first place?
I didn't buy it. I leased it. Aroa is technically part of New Zealand, but the U.S. had leased it for years.
Yeah. That's why there's the old naval station. But wouldn't it have been easier to rent a chunk of California or something? I'm sure there's a big stretch of Mojave that nobody wants.
Yeah. The abandoned naval station here piqued our interest initially, hoping we could piggyback on the Cold War infrastructure. That was a wash. But once we had visited Aroa, its biodiversity won us over. Good Hope Mountain has ice, Infinity is surrounded by fields, and the swamps of Finnbog sport as harsh a conditions as any good drone tester could wish for. We fell in love with the place. I bought the lease from the U.S. government.
And now these are your islands. No government but Skell-Tech.
Well, avoiding government regulation was a factor.
Oh, I'll bet it was. Hey, I've been hearing about that World 2.0 stuff. And maybe the world needs a software patch, but a utopia? Really?
People out there in the rest of the world, they think the Earth's dying. They have this belief in scarcity. They think that we'll run out of energy, out of space, or out of water, or anything. And that makes every day a crisis.
And World 2.0 would fix that crisis?
It was more about fixing that mentality. I wanted to show the rest of the world that with innovation, with creativity, and with a little courage, it's easy to see the universe is abundant.
And how about now?
It's still an abundant universe. That hasn't changed. Just, I thought I could keep out jealous people and the cowards.
No getting away from them.
No, I'm probably not as brave as I want to be either.
That outcast bombing must have hit you pretty hard.
Maybe you read about it. I lost my wife in the September 11th attack on the World Trade Center.
Sorry. I didn't know. I guess I can't blame you for bringing in Stone and Sentinel.
Do you know what it feels like to lose someone?
Yeah, I do.
You get all torn up inside. You get to feel like you're falling, but it's an endless fall. You grab hold of anything you can.
So what am I grabbing hold of now?
I don't know. Us. We need you, Nomad. But you probably need us every bit as much.
Hey, genius. I always thought you were more of a pacifist. Gotta say, though, it's a damn shame you had to start making lethal drones.
I was naive, I guess. I always hoped for the best out of people, you know? When a bomb goes off and I meet the wrong person at the worst time, I bought their logic that if you want peace, carry a big stick line of reasoning. Stone even said, Doesn't God have his avenging angels guarding the gates of paradise? It never felt right here. We're building heaven on earth, and we're not gods.
Is that why you kept it secret? Project Omega? Because, you know, some people might look at it as a PR shield, keeping the image of a pacifist while making money on weapons.
PR is important, but you don't wear a seatbelt because you're planning to get into a car crash, right?
You have to be cautious.
Right.
We still have a ways to go. What do you plan to do when this is over?
You mean with Aurora? With Skeltech?
Assuming Miles is out of the picture.
You're assuming I don't go to prison.
You haven't done anything wrong, genius.
Of course I have. I can't blame Miles. He knew how to get to me. For now, I'm just trying to make things right.
Walker's dead.
You?
Yeah.
If Walker's dead, why are we still hiding in a cave?
He was middle management. Stone's still out there working with Miles and who knows who else. Citadel is still operational. This is far from over.
You were friends, right? I don't know what to say. He wasn't really...
I know what you mean. We could spend all day listing his sins and we'd still have plenty more to check off tomorrow.
Let all bitterness and wrath and anger and clamor and slander be put away from you, along with all malice.
You know that one from memory?
You don't get rich trying to be right all the time. I've had to forgive a lot of people, and I've had to ask for forgiveness, too.
Hey, at what point did you stop being a part of Walker and Stone's plan?
I told you. They took the company from me.
And that's why you ran.
They were supposed to be running their test of the lethal drones out in the Thar Desert in Rajasthan. Instead, they tested their linchpin models.
What's a linchpin model?
Their idea is that killing a key individual, a linchpin, will put a chain of events in motion that will cause a desired outcome.
Like killing Franz Ferdinand started World War I.
They wanted to start some chaos between India and Pakistan. The models were flawed, but it almost worked. I tried to put a stop to it. That's why they took over. That's why I had to run.
Tell me what else you know about Miles. I've only met him unofficially.
You know those guys who are somehow everywhere? Know everyone? That was Miles.
Made a lot of intros, huh?
He made all the introductions. He introduced me to a whole new network of people, and I put them all on my team.
He sounds like the kind of government contact an entrepreneur would love to have.
I'm not an idiot. I knew he had his own goals. I just never imagined they'd include taking over my own company.
This guy, Trey Stone, doesn't make things easy.
He always seemed kind of ambitious. He and Walker always had some friction.
Walker mentioned Stone before, but never in a friendly way. I take it he isn't very likable.
He's a creep. But I've had to work with all kinds of people before. Sometimes you tolerate jerks just because they get the job done.
Did he get the job done?
I don't actually know. He kind of insulated himself. As a subcontractor, I couldn't supervise him the way I did other people. I had to trust Walker when he said things were going well.
I suppose you got tricked into inviting private military contractors into Aurora.
Well, I mean, not exactly. We're self-governing.
You used to be.
Okay, we used to be. We needed security. Not just as a police force, but as security. At least that's what Miles got me to finally admit.
Against pirates and the mole men and such.
Our drone security was limited. It still is. If unauthorized people land, we would know about it, but we couldn't do anything about it.
You're obviously not afraid of squatters. You were afraid of corporate spies.
We do get spies from time to time. Don't tell the shareholders, but the more our tech discoveries are disseminated throughout the world, the better off it'll be. But I was worried about the safety of our staff, the bombing. I just never imagined the antibiotics would be more deadly than the illness. Sentinel snuck a private army into the abandoned U.S. military complexes. Stone's been planning this takeover from day one. My colleague, Ayana Puri, who dealt with this, certainly has a better picture.
I'm gonna miss Fox.
I already do.
What was his job, anyway?
He was a mathematician, but unofficially, he was the Pexplo Man.
What is that? Some indie superhero reference?
Pexplo Man is an abbreviation for the Perpetual Exploding Man. It's the title of an old sci-fi novel we both read. It's about a telepathic private eye, very inside joke. We called Fox Pexplo Man around the office because he was just so enthusiastic. His reaction to every good idea, it was like his mind was blown.
Yeah. I'm surprised he kept Ayana being his source of secret. Figured he'd brag about something like that.
He had a good spirit, you know, but it shows you. You never really know another person, what they're thinking.
Unless you're a telepathic private eye.
Yeah, Pexplo Man.
What is going on with these drone swarms? Did your program introduce a glitch or something?
It's, the drone swarm AI. That one swarm controller in particular, it went autonomous. Like, completely autonomous. Sentinel doesn't control it.
But neither do we.
Yeah.
That's bad.
Not necessarily. It's still running Operation Citadel, and it's also running a lot of other subroutines. But we've been locked out again. We have no access to the program.
Plain English, genius. What's gonna happen with this AI, and will it let us off this island?
The AI is demonstrating emergent behavior. You can't anthropomorphize it. It doesn't think the way people do. It can't let us do anything. But it doesn't make it less amazing.
In other words, we're shit out of luck. Stay out of trouble.
Focus is my forte.